All right, guys, hope you're doing well. Let's take a look at the markets and what we're going to be trading this week and what we're going to be looking for. So, first things first, let's take a look at overall indexes, that good stuff. Okay, so we're still getting buy signals on the indexes. Major chop and the QQQ still riding that 9 EMA on the daily chart on the VIX. Okay. Um, Put call is creeping up higher, which I really like. Want to continue to see that action and higher levels here. That would be really nice to see. Uh, it'd be really nice to see one of these pop up into the zero point 0.9 area because that usually gives us some really good spots. If we take a look here, this will sync up like right here where we had the lows when we moved up to zero point 0.9. Here where we saw the lows, that was zero point 0.9. And so yeah, it's just good to kind of see if we can get back up to this area. We should be starting to be conscious, but right now we're just chopping higher, and you have to be super selective on the things you want to trade. Um, for me, I don't really want to have to do that, so I'm kind of just trying to be patient and wait. I took 3 trades this week. So, and those were the first trades I've taken since before Christmas, and actually none of them worked out. So, let's see. Some of the ones I took this week, QBTS, I would call this more of an impulse trade for me. I bought it on this day using a stop at the low. I got stopped out of that trade. Um, FIGR. I bought this one here on this day, ended up squatting, pulling back, and stopping me out, and then ended up doing exactly what I was looking for it to do. So it ripped. So this was a really nice setup. It was just a simple break of this IPO. So this thing could go 100% really quickly. It went up 16% and then 13%. So this thing is flying already since it broke out. Um, 30% in 2 days. And it's kind of the action you get on that initial IPO run up. So like unfortunately, I just chalk it up to a mistrade, but right idea. Just got stopped out. It is what it is. And oh, NBITS. So this one I got stopped out at pretty much break even. Tried to buy it on this day, trying to break out, and it just did not work. And I just cut it near the close. Didn't hit my stop, but I wasn't willing to hold it till the end of day or into the next day because it was not closing strong. So that's part of that. Now let's go into basically some of the stocks. So here's the thing. The only things that are working right now are stocks that are breaking out into new highs, that into new all-time highs, and that's what I'm noticing is kind of a theme right now. Like ASTS, this thing broke out into new highs. Yes, this is within a strong theme, but this thing is ripping when it broke through all-time highs. SNDK, strong theme, but same idea, broke through all-time highs, and that's when that thing started to rip. Um, Couple more here. Uh, I'm blanking. FIGR, one we just looked at, this broke out in all-time highs and then just ripped. Um, the breakouts into new all-time highs have been really effective for different stocks like Rocket Lab. I think Katos, yep, continued to rip after a breakout in all-time highs. Uh, yeah, so you just want to keep an eye on these stocks, and you can run a really simple scan. This scan is stocks within, so there's only 39 of them, so it can make your scanning process really quick if you just jump through and look at these stocks that are potentially or that are near all-time highs. So we can go through and do this. Watch. So I'm just looking for a certain liquidity above a certain price. Um, That's fine. We can leave that. So take this and we can go here and throw it into our focus list. And so what we're going to want to do is we can take a look at the big boys real quick. IWM clearly outperforming. Nice buy signal here. Um, and for those who have asked, so like you can get these buy signals and sell signals on our or on my website. I'll put the link in the description. But you've got a buy signal that showed up here, buy signal that showed up there, there, back in there. So the thing, this is something that you guys can get access to, and most of the people, or actually all the people that I coach, have access to this. So this was a really nice breakout there. SMH, nice breakout here. Out of this longer term consolidation after it broke into all-time highs. This one just looks like the Qs. Price is really tightening up here, so it may come down to earnings season coming up this week. So just keep an eye on that. Earnings have really started to come out, or the big tech names are coming out the next couple weeks. XLF, this thing broke down. Um, and you can kind of just see none of this looks too amazing. I mean, NVIDIA has buy signals here. It had last time I had a buy signal was there and had a really great move. But it's just kind of like I don't know. It's just a lot of these stocks do not look good. Like you can see here, we had all these nice setups in through here and worked out really nicely. But then we've had some sell signals in Microsoft, um, which ended up working really well. Google had some nice buy signals that worked out really well. And now Amazon kind of just chopping around. But a lot of these big caps, they're below their 21, they're below their 50, they're below their 9, which is concerning. Like majority of these are. So you can see a -5 here, -43. ABGO is still considered bullish. It's kind of choppy. Um, Tesla, -11, so it's mostly neutral. Amazon mostly neutral. Google is bullish. Microsoft is bearish. Apple bearish. So it's just taking the scores from all these different time frames and plotting them on the chart. So or giving you a score. So obviously the best looking charts here is Google. And then, I mean, that's really it, right? So the rest of these are either neutral or bullish. Well, what was the other one here? AVGO is slightly bullish. So you're kind of just sitting here and there's not too many things really setting up that look that great um, within the mega caps. Okay. So mostly neutral, a lot of them are bearish, and then you got a couple good ones that are standing out, AVGO and Google. Okay. So if you're interested, Google or AVGO has some weekly buy signals. Here was the last weekly buy signal, then the one before that, and then the ones before that. So uh, this this is a very consistent signal for this stock. You can see pretty much every single one. These worked, that one didn't work, that one worked, those worked nicely, those worked like nicely. So does that one. So it's like, okay, is this worth putting some risk on with a stop below the weekly 21? I would say so. So this is setting up something to pay attention to. Google, clearly no weekly signals here. We bought it actually back in here, and you can see I sold here, which I thought it was a great trade and one of my bigger winners this year. But when you go back and you take a look, you're like, wow, 34%. It's actually up 90% at this point. It has never broken the 9. So um, pretty crazy move on that one. So we can go through and take a look let's take a look at the all-time highs list. So with easy way to sum this up, Qs are choppy but we do have a weekly buy signal. With that being said, all of these are really choppy as well, unfortunately. So we've got a couple good standouts. So AVGO and Google. But other than that, things don't look that great out here. So that's what's making up a choppy QQQ. We've got semiconductors leading and obviously gold and silver leading as well. And then if you take a look at kind of the theme tracker here, you've got the metals leading and aerospace leading. Pretty much as simple as that. Then we can go through here. Now we can take a look at these charts here of stock. Oh, this keeps changing. So make sure when you do this, it stocks at all-time highs. So now what we can do is it really narrows that list down and we can run through all of these because it won't take too much time. Add those to the focus list and then we can go in and take a look at these. So you've got ASTS, which broke out. Really nice chart there. Broke out of this big monthly flag and has been continuing to run ever since. Chart looks great. SITM, a little choppy in through here, but we do have a daily buy that's trying to print with a potential run in earnings. So interesting setup there. FN, this thing just continues to bounce off the moving averages. Um, Same thing, bounce off the 9. Uh, Metal stock running. Nice flag breakout with daily buys right here. Nice setup, perfect breakout. Yeah, nice setup here. Great breakout. Oh. This one does look really good here. It's just now starting to break out of this range here, and it's trying to do the thing and trying to break out and making new all-time highs. So I'm keeping a close eye on this as it could break this multi-month consolidation, which has been 95 days long. Okay, so worth keeping an eye on here. Potential big breakout there. This one, don't even want to look at it. That was a beautiful setup. Uh, BE breaking out and making new all-time highs here. If you want to trade something like this, you got to go to the 30-minute chart, and you can just trade a daily or a 30-minute signal and catch those short pops, or just simply wait for a pullback to the 9 and a setup like that. So you can see here when it made this huge move, there were plenty pullbacks to the 9 for you to buy, and you could have used the low of that candle there. You could have used it 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 there. Here, you probably would have got stopped out, but then you could have used it here and you would have caught this momentum all the way through. Same thing here. This one wouldn't have worked. That would have failed, but you've had numerous opportunities. And so that's what I would be looking for here. Simple pullback to the 9. Or you wait for this one hasn't had many 30-minute squeezes, but there was one. And then there was another. So wait for a pullback. NXT. So this is within the same sector as SEI. It's within that solar type space. This one has earnings coming up pretty soon, so kind of hard to want to trade that. But chart looks good and could have a breakout here soon after it popped out of this range. As long as it holds above this range, uses it as support, we could see a nice move on that. CLS, so this one, semiconductor space, it's got earnings coming up, so I'd kind of just hold off. Similar stories, but this one looks good. Buy signals here, good setup, nice weekly flag, weekly buy signal. We'll see what it has to offer in earnings. TTMI, I missed this one. Buy signals right in through here, and then huge breakout here. So had a shakeout this day here, closed below the 50 after it was holding it, and then reclaimed, broke prior day high, and now is up 48% since then. Crazy move. Um, STX, this is one of the laggards within that space, within the memory space, but this one still continues to look good, making new highs. Earnings coming up in a couple weeks. SNDK, one of the major leaders here, clean buy signal here and breakout day. Really nice setup and move there. It's up 75% since this breakout day. So awesome move there. WDC, same sector, breaking out, looking good. Uh, AV, AV, this one needs a pullback to the 9. Looking really strong though. Super crazy recovery. 30-minute chart has provided you some pretty good entries. So this one, not a very good push. This one gave you a good push, and so did that one there. But I think best thing to do, wait for the pullback and then trade that. Um, Rocket Lab, same thing. I know a few of you caught the entry right here off the weekly buy signal. So that was a really nice setup there and provided a great move right off this area right here, broke out, made this huge move. So, and still continues to move higher, holding the 9. Okay. So, few that I'm keeping an eye on. This SITM, this one looks pretty good. Um, Clear resistance here around 380. Um, Once it breaks that, I think this thing is off to the races. F FN. So some of these were not showing up. I used a little bit lower threshold on the ADR. I think I used 4%. So some of these are showing up um, on here that didn't show up on that scan. And if you did that, you get about 35 names. So versus the 40 or the 20. So this is another one that's setting up that looks pretty good. Let's see. So it keeps bouncing off support. It's making some lower highs now. So you may want to see this one break out first before you try to trade it. But I like how it's came out of this consolidation a bit, come back, retested it. And then has buy signals, looks like a solid setup and could see a breakout here soon. Um, this one here, COHR, nice buy signals. Chart is setting up, currently rejecting the breakout and all-time highs, so it might need to reset for an entry. CRS, this one looks really good after this big down day, and then now it's kind of recovered, and then now it's putting in an inside day and some buy signals. I think this one looks pretty awesome with earnings coming up. Just flagging right at new all-time highs, building that sideways and higher consolidation, continues to bounce off the 50, bounce off the 50, bounce off the 50. So keep a close eye on this one. This chart looks solid. VRT, slow. This one's a little too slow for me. Um, AXSM. So this one is slower, but this is a really, really, really good looking chart. We've had some really tight days here. So a breakout here above like 178-ish could 179 could provide a really nice move. So keep an eye on this one. This continues to push up into new all-time highs and has been consolidating, building a tight range. I think this one might be a very nice setup going into next week. So keep an eye on this one. Um, but I think CRS is my favorite setup going into next week and could be a really nice move. So keep an eye on those. I hope this helps. And but the main thing is the real action isn't going to come until the Qs start breaking out. Yes, there are stocks breaking out now, and it hasn't been that easy to trade. Um, but I think that once this break, everything I've traded is super small size, risking 0.1% of my account. Um, so I had a 0.25% drawdown on my account this week. So what I'm looking for is I'm really just waiting for the indexes to break out. And if they break lower, then okay, then I can start looking for shorts. But for right now, uh, we can try to trade these momentum leaders or we can stay cash. I lean more towards this stay cash, and I've done a pretty good job of that. Lost a little bit that this week, but I'm thinking I'm just gonna need to sit cash and wait for the next opportunities. I do really like this setup here, and I do like this setup here. The rest of these don't necessarily seem too ready. FN maybe, but yeah, so those are the ones I'm going to keep an eye on into Monday. And I hope this helps. And thank you guys for watching. And I will talk to you soon.